Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna chat all about the do's and don'ts of your Instagram bio. Your Instagram bio, in my opinion, is probably one of the most underrated features of your Instagram account and your growth and what you can see with Instagram if you have a very strategic bio. So I'm gonna share some of the things that I see a lot of people doing that you probably shouldn't be doing with your bio. You're just like not doing it the right way, but also things that I think are great things to do with your bio instead. And before we jump in, I also do have a new free quiz on discovering your next idea for Instagram Reels. So if you're also trying to grow with your Instagram with Reels, be sure to check that out. The link will be right below this video. And now let's go ahead and jump into the first do or don't. The first don't is don't use a profile photo that is either a logo or a photo of your face that's super far away and not you looking directly at the camera. It's just super important, especially if you have a personal brand or you have a business where you are the face of your brand, you're the person behind your brand. People connect with people. They don't connect with logos and text and faraway photos that are super dramatic, like you looking off to the side, which obviously those are fun photos to take, but probably not the best for your profile photo. So on the flip side of that, a big do for your Instagram bio is to make sure your profile photo is a nice up close photo of your face, and ideally you making eye contact with the camera and smiling at the camera. Again, people connect with a person way more than they do a business or a logo or something along those lines. Obviously there's going to be exceptions to this rule, but for the majority of you, I want to push you a little bit. Make sure that you're including a picture of yourself so people can see exactly who you are and make that instant connection with you right when they are coming to your bio. Think about it. If someone doesn't know who you are, doesn't know much about you, they probably don't know what you look like. And so having your profile picture be a picture of yourself is super important for that reason, and making you stand out, make that connection right away, and make you seem more like a genuine person, right? Not just some business they should follow. The next don't is please do not use hashtags in your bio. There is a lot out there that has already basically proven like this doesn't do anything to help your profile be ranked in some sort of algorithm or search or anything like that. It literally does not do anything for you. So it's not going to help your brand at all to have a bunch of hashtags in your profile. In fact, I think the opposite happens where it actually kind of hurts you because it looks very spammy. If we're being completely honest, if we go to someone's profile for the first time and their bio like just has a bunch of hashtags, it's kind of hard to read, right? It's kind of hard to tell like what is going on there, and it just looks flat out spammy. So please don't include any hashtags, and plus there is a character limit on the text you can add to your bio, and it's taking up precious space that you can use to do some other things instead. So maybe you're wondering, what are those other things? So the next do is to clearly state your name, who you are, and who you serve. It's very important that it's very, very obvious from the very first line of your bio what you're all about or what your business is. You want to make it very obvious and state it in pretty plain terms so people know exactly what you do and who you are. And I'll also add, if you are a location-based business, be sure to add your location. Like back when I was a photographer, I made sure people knew, like right in the first line of my bio was Columbus, Ohio wedding photographer. Very clearly stated where I was located because that was really important. I shot most weddings in my general area, and then stated exactly what I did in plain terms, wedding photographer. Nowadays, over on the @Stephanie Case Education Instagram account, we very clearly state in the very first line of our bio exactly what we do and how we show up in the world. So whether you take it the direction of, like a wedding photographer from Columbus, Ohio, or whether you take it the direction like we did with the Stephanie Case Education account of making content creation easy so you can grow your brand online, that's more of like our mission, right? And so, but it very clearly states like we're speaking to other brands, business owners, people who are wanting to grow and make content. And so you just want to make sure that very first line is super obvious, like what you do, how you serve the world. So if someone is looking at your account for the first time, they're thinking about following you, that very clearly tells them like what you're going to be sharing about, right? So for our Stephanie Case Education account, very clearly states like we are sharing about how to grow your business, grow your brand, specifically creating content, which by the way, if you're not following that account already, be sure to head over there and follow it. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on my YouTube channel before, but we decided to split. I have my personal brand @Stephanie Lynn Case, which has turned into more of a personal brand focused on like motherhood, twin life, and just my day-to-day life. And so we decided we needed a separate space to focus more on business. So the Stephanie Case Education account is a place where you'll get tips for growing your brand online. But anyways, just make sure that's very clear. Far too often I go to someone's bio and it's just very unclear what they're even about, right? And even making the distinction between, for our Stephanie Case Education account, a difference between just stating business expert, follow for tips. Like, that doesn't tell me about what kind of business stuff I'm going to be sharing. But if by specifically calling out that we're sharing about content creation, it's getting more specific about who we're there to serve. All right, and then the next don't is please stop using a bunch of random emojis in your bio. I see this far too often, and again, you have limited character space in your bio. Be sure you're using every single character very wisely. We don't want to be throwing in a bunch of just random emojis that don't really mean much of anything. However, on the flip side, the next do is to use some of your branded emojis. Okay, so what do I mean when I say branded emojis or brand emojis? What I mean by that is use emojis that you have made a part of your brand. And I really, if you haven't thought about it this way before, I really recommend thinking about like what are emojis you want people to associate with your brand. For example, we tend to use, instead of like a red heart icon, we use the yellow heart icon because it goes along more with our brand colors and things like that. So whenever we are like hearting something or using a heart in our copy, we're using that yellow heart instead of the red heart. And so there's just different emojis you can think like that. Think about like maybe 4 to 5 that you want to make a part of your brand and consistently use them throughout your Instagram and DMs and copy, captions, things like that. And it's okay to throw a couple in your bio as well so that it just like flows really seamlessly with what you would naturally use in your captions and things like that. The next don't is stop including irrelevant information about yourself. Okay, so I do think it can be really fun to include a few like fun facts about you if it's something you consistently share about on your Instagram. But like if you've never shared about the fact that you love drinking coffee every day, but you literally have never shared it on your Instagram, even in stories, you probably shouldn't include that in your bio and have it take up space in your bio, right? And so I think after you think about the other things, as far as clearly stating who you are, what you do, maybe your location, how you serve others, how they can learn from you, you're gonna see that after doing that, you're not really gonna have a lot more space to add random facts about yourself. Again, not that you can't, but make sure it's a pivotal part of your brand in what you share, in sharing that you love those types of things. So for example, on my Stephanie Lynn Case account, I'm obviously sharing like I am a twin mom, I love Jesus, I am married, like these things that are just a part of my brand and I'm going to be sharing about on a consistent basis so people can get an idea of what my brand's about. And on the flip side of things, on the Stephanie Case Education account, I am not really including those facts in the bio, right? I'm being very strategic about attracting other brands, business owners. And not that I won't ever share about me personally, right? Like I am totally down to share about me and, you know, things I love and my family and things like that. But it's not like a foundational piece of the brand, if that makes sense, when it comes to the Stephanie Case Education. So that's why I'm not necessarily including that in the bio. And so obviously, again, it's not that we're putting ourselves in a box where we can't ever share about other things, but make sure it like use the space wisely, right? Don't just include a bunch of irrelevant facts about yourself that don't really make a difference on whether or not someone would follow you. And this kind of leads me into my next do, and it's including a call to action in your bio with a strategic link. So instead of using that precious bio character limit to include just irrelevant information about you, be sure to make sure first that you are including a call to action in the bottom line of your bio that points maybe an arrow down to the link, and that link is very strategic, whether you want to switch that link out based on what you've talked about on Instagram recently, or having something like a link tree. I actually created one myself on the website, and then we use that as like a link tree, and we just update it on the back end of our website. And so you can do something like that, or just have a strategic link. Maybe you're a service provider and want to link a call directly, or maybe you just have a podcast, you don't even really have a website, link your podcast. That can be a really great way to not only use your Instagram to grow your followers' engagement, right, but also to drive sales and make sure people can get what they want really fast. And if you're even linking just to the homepage of your website, I think it's really doing a disservice to what you could be using that link for. And you can, with a link tree, you essentially have a bunch of buttons for like things you've recently mentioned, or different things people are probably looking for if they're coming across your Instagram account first. Like almost think about your Instagram feed is like the homepage of your website for someone who's found you on Instagram. And when they tap that link, they probably want to go to a specific page, like a menu. They don't necessarily want to then go to your homepage and they have to figure out how to get to where they want to go. Or maybe they're really just ready to book a call with you, or ready to book an interview with you, or ready to make a purchase from you. Have those direct links right there, very handy, make it very, very easy for them to do. So as an example, on the Stephanie Case Education account, we currently currently have free Reels class right there with a downward arrow, and people can then click on that link and get access to our free Reels class. So it makes it very easy to find and gives a good call to action of how they can learn more from us next. And that's really the next step that we want to drive people into, because from there, then they're put into so many other things with email marketing where we do make sales. Which, by the way, if you are interested in the free Reels class, we'll also put a link to that right below this video. And if you haven't checked out the free Reels quiz yet, be sure to do that as well. It's all about discovering your next reel idea. There's even tutorials on how to create those ideas and things like that. So I think you're really gonna love it. It's something brand new that we put together, and it's just a fun little quiz you can take and then see what idea you should make next for your reels. But if you haven't already too, subscribe to this channel, because we share weekly advice for brands and business owners on how to grow with content creation and grow online. So this includes video marketing, short form video like Reels, Instagram growth, and so many other things beyond that. So we upload a new video every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I can't wait to have you guys subscribed and following along to stay up to date on new videos, and we'll see you next week. Bye guys!